Well, good morning. I'm Reverend Maureen Bishop, and welcome to Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. This is when we do an opening prayer treatment. So if you'd like, just to get comfortable, put your feet on the floor, and close your eyes if you want to. Take a deep breath. And just know the I of whom I speak, when I use the word I, it's you. It's all of us. So right here, right now, I breathe in life, and I breathe in knowing that there is only one spirit, one life, one power, one love right here in this room. And that love is in me and around me and through me, and there's never been any separation because there is only love. And I know that I am here to express love. So I declare that my love expresses through my heart and well wishes and good words and good deeds, because I am the divine distributor of this love. I am the divine distributor of this life and the light that has been given to me and that is me. So today, I give great gratitude for this gathering of people, the fellowship, the music, the volunteers, and everyone that participates in this, including our speaker today. And I just give gratitude, knowing it is all in divine order, it all unfolds perfectly. And for this, I just say thank you, and release my word, knowing it is acted upon as I have spoken it. So I release and I let go. I know it is so. Together we say, so it is. So good morning.
Let's just get in the stillness of this moment. Just kind of close your eyes and you want to sing along. That's great too. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. There is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is peace. The next verse is about love. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love. In the stillness of this moment there is love. There is love. And I rest and trust and breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment there is love. There is peace. There is love. More love.
Thank you. So, it is my pleasure to welcome you to Center for Spiritual Living, where we believe there's a power for good in the universe, and we can use it. Yes. And where we come together to teach, demonstrate, and inspire a positive spiritual approach to living. So today I'd like to invite Verla, yes, to come up to light our candles so we can remind ourselves of the underlying spirit of life and the divine unity of all. So first we light a candle for life. Life is everywhere present, flowing through each and every one of us. There's only one life. That life is God's life. That life is our life right now. So please affirm and say with me, I am life.
I am life.
And we light a candle for love. The birth of love happens within each one of us every time we make room for the Christ consciousness in our hearts and recognize our unity. We are points of love within the heart of God. So please affirm and say with me, I am love. So we light a candle for light. The light of God is the presence and the power. We're always walking in the light. We radiate the light of God wherever we are. Please affirm and say with me, I am light. A little candle. All right. We light a candle for beauty. We're made in the likeness and image of God. We're each whole, complete, and beautiful, just as we are. We accept the beauty of God's perfection as our perfection, right here, right now. So please affirm and say with me, I am beauty. We light the candle for joy. Joy is the very nature of spirit and the true essence of each of us. We celebrate the joy of our own rebirth in the God consciousness. Each of us, we each bring joy to the world. So please affirm and say with me, I am joy. And we light the candle for peace. Today and every day, we open our hearts to peace. We are each a center of peace in our world. So please affirm and say with me, I am peace. Thank you. And finally, I invite you to take a moment to recognize your own inner light that is always shining within as we take a moment to honor our own metaphysical path of wholeness, oneness, and mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. Thank you, Perla. So announcements. Next week, Pollock. Third Sunday, Pollock Sunday. I'm not going to be here. I'm going to be out of town for 2 weeks. But show off your skills. Show off your cooking skills or your ability to stop and get some fast food. So, I don't see anybody here for the first time. So, I know each of you will join us for fellowship afterwards. Just a note, in October, Kate and I and Robert's going to be helping. We're going to be teaching a class. It's a CSL class, 6-week session, accredited class. If you're interested in taking it, becoming a practitioner or not. It's the creative consciousness and the creative process. So it is based on the works of Thomas Troward. Some people say Troward, some people say Troward. We listened to someone who was English and he pronounced it Troward. So he had a major influence on Ernest Holmes. So we'll be providing materials for that, and Kate will let us know more next week. So just a reminder, there are several of us here that can do spiritual mind treatments afterwards. If you want to raise your hand, practitioners and ministers, we're here for you. So avail yourself of us after the service. And we also, reminder, put a request out in the little box, fill out a request, and we'll have several people, including other ministers, treat for you. So, and if you didn't get what you wanted, if you don't see the demonstration that you really want, retreat again. So any other, I don't think there's any other announcements. Okay. So today, right now, it's time to say thank you, Pat. Thank you. Thank you. And did you see what's below the water line? Carrots. Those are carrots. Aren't they beautiful?
Wow.
And you may even be able to eat them if you want. And today for greeter, we had numerous people greeted. Thank you all. And treats, thank you, Nikki. She brought some brownies. And Larry's going to give us a reading in a minute here. And thanks to Jan for the bookstore. And Angel for setting up. And I have the volunteer sheet sitting out in the lobby if you would like to volunteer for anything next week. So please avail yourself of being a volunteer. So now we have a group reading. It is on your program. So let's say this together. Excuse me. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect abundance. I am the individualized expression of God. I am ever one with perfect life, perfect love, and perfect abundance. Now we have a group song.
Yes, we do. All right, stand up if you are able and get energized. This is called Holy, Holy Way. It's a call and response. I will call, and Cahill and you will respond. It's really easy.
Just say what I say.
Yeah. Do what he does.
3, 4.
for our inspirational reading. So I'd like to call Larry.
Thank you. All right, please turn in your Bibles Paul's books to 478. That is where the lesson is. I guess nobody has their Holmes books with them though. Love is the central flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. It is written that God is love, that we are his express likeness, the image of the eternal being. Love is self-givingness through creation, the impartation of divine through the human. Love is an essence, an atmosphere which defies analysis, as does life itself. It is that which is and cannot be explained. It is common to all people, to all animal life, and evident in the response of plants to those who love them. Love reigns supreme over all. The essence of love, while elusive, pervades everything, fires the heart, stimulates the emotions, renews the soul, and proclaims the spirit. Only love knows love, and love knows only love. Words cannot express its depth or meaning. A universal sense alone bears witness to the divine fact. God is love, and love is God.
Thank you. We have a song to tie into the talk today. We usually try to do that. But this is really about the talk. This is called All You Need Is Love by the Beatles. Yes, you're welcome to sing along.
Ready?
Yeah.
Nothing you can do that can be done. Nothing you can sing that can be sung. Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game. It's easy. Nothing you can know that isn't known. Nothing you can see that isn't shown. Nothing you can be that isn't the way you want to be.
to win. Well, now it is time for our main speaker. I want to introduce practitioner Robert Brown and All You Need Is Love.
I guess the topic of my talk today isn't a mystery for all those clues we had. So, good morning, everybody. For the video record, my name is Robert Brown. I'm a practitioner here at Carlsbad Center for Spiritual Living. And I'm very pleased to be speaking to my Carlsbad family again, my spiritual family. I last had an opportunity to talk back in April. And believe it or not, I gave a shorter version of this talk for One Heart, One Mind one Sunday several years ago. It's been expanded because obviously our talks are longer. But coincidentally, the global theme of the month for Centers for Spiritual Living is Love Out Loud. And the CSL quote of the week is by Bell Hooks, who's a pen name for an American author, college professor, and social critic, Gloria Jean Watkins. She said, whether we are engaged in a process of self-love or of loving others, we must move beyond the realm of feeling to actualize love. This is why it is useful to see love as a practice. And while I'm talking about love, and while you're thinking about love and listening to me talk about it, I want you to think of it not just as a feeling or an emotion, but as an actual spiritual practice, because that in fact is what it is. But before we get too serious, how about a couple of laughs? Learned this trick from Reverend Maureen. Some of you may have seen the sports news that Coco Gauff, I'm not sure how to pronounce her name, became the second teenager to win the U.S. Open. But there's one thing you should know about tennis players. You should never consider getting into a relationship with one or marrying one. The reason is because love means nothing. The other thing about love is, if you tell somebody to go to hell and you love them, you're going to worry about them getting there safely. So, enough laughs for now. I have a serious question for you, and I want a show of hands for this one. Who thinks you can identify my favorite metaphysical musical group of all time? Come on, here, raise your hands. You just heard them say this song. If you said the Beatles, you're absolutely right. They famously sang this song, All You Need Is Love, which we just heard a beautiful rendition of. When you read the lyrics, it's very clear that the essential message of the song is consistent with our Science of Mind teaching. For example, there's nothing you can do that can't be done. Nothing you can make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. What could be more Science of Mind than those ideas? Personally, I believe the Beatles were absolutely correct that all you need is love. Now, why do I believe that? Well, the reason to me is very simple. And it goes back to my first year of college logic, learned from the Jesuits at Loyola University in LA. God is love. God is all there is. And it seems to me that you can't have more than all there is. So, logically, all you need is love. Sounds very simple. and I found that the simplest things are often the truest things. St. Augustine is credited with saying that he who is filled with love is filled with God himself. And Ernest, our founder, has said, love is at the center of our being, and the calm, continuous pulsations of life are governed by love. Now, my message today is about two aspects of love. Firstly, it's what I call metaphysical love. The essence of God is love within us and all around us. As Ernest says, love is the divine givingness. He also said that love rules through law. And I'm not sure where and when he said this, but I've been told by several people that at one time late in life he said he was a little distressed maybe that he hadn't stressed love more than he did law, because law is all through the science of mind, but love is less of a big role in that. A couple thousand years ago, Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and philosopher, said, "The spiritual meaning of love is measured by what it can do. Love is meant to heal. Love is meant to renew. Love is meant to bring us closer to God." Now, the love that Ernest and Marcus, and I enjoy being on first names with them, is what I call metaphysical love. The love that permeates the universe and each of our souls. The love that we receive from the intelligence that created us and the rest of the universe. The love that we in turn have for that creative intelligence and for all of its creation. Now, the second aspect of love is what I call human love. It's really part and parcel of the love I was just talking about, because love is love, and God is love, and God is all there is. There are many subcategories of human love: romantic love, familial love, love of friends, love of all humankind, and even love of animals and nature. They all share in some basic truths. It has been said that love is the very reason for our being. And that explains why it is that some people should have something or somebody to love. And in fact, I firmly believe that everybody does have somebody to love and somebody to love them. That idea was in the refrain of another Beatles song, "With a little help from my friends," where they sang, "Do you need anybody? I need somebody to love." Now, I'd like to, at this point, share a personal story about love, finding love, realizing love, knowing that love was there all along when you didn't think it was, and similar ideas. Some of you know my father was a World War II veteran. He was decorated for bravery, but he came back from the war very damaged. He spent several years in a Veterans Administration psychiatric hospital with a diagnosis of schizophrenia, paranoid type. I didn't really know my dad until I was 8 years old, and my mother and I moved from Mississippi to New York City to live with him and his parents, all in one what's called a railroad or a shotgun apartment in a walk-up in New York City in Manhattan. And I was always afraid of him because he was very unpredictable. The schizophrenia, and particularly the paranoia, led him to hear voices sometimes, to hear things that weren't there, to imagine things that weren't there. And I was often the butt of punishment for that. And for instance, if I was playing with my toy soldiers, I'd talk to myself, I'd give them roles, the general's talking to the lieutenants and they're talking to the sergeants, And sub-vocalizing. Well, he thought I was talking about him. So I got punished for that pretty severely. So I was always afraid. But one time, I was about 9, 9.5, 10, somewhere in there. I had a splinter in my finger, and my mother was at work because she supported the family. And he removed that splinter. But not only did he remove it, but he scotch taped it to a little piece of paper and wrote on it, "Splinter removed from Bobby's finger on such and such a day." And I still have that. I still have that splinter. I can't say honestly that I took that as a sign of that he loved me at the time. To me it was just a fun thing. But later on, in 1968, I was 23. I just turned 23 the month before, and he was in the hospital, riddled with cancer, in his final hours, really. And there were, people there, his sister, her husband, and he asked for me to come in by myself into the hospital room, and I went in there. Now, I honestly can't tell you if we said anything to each other. I don't remember if he said anything to me, and if he did, what it was, or if I said anything to him. But I knew in my heart of hearts that he was acknowledging me as his firstborn son and telling me, whether he said it or not, that he loved me. And that's something that later on, and it took me many, many years to process how my feelings for my father, and especially after I was introduced to Science of Mind. And I was finally able to realize that he did love me, that there was fatherly love there, and to forgive him for all the undeserved punishments, and to realize that, he did the best he could under the circumstances with what he had. So that allowed me some tremendous growth. Mother Teresa is credited with saying that small things done with great love will change the world. And those relatively small events in my life certainly changed things for me. And I know that a lot of people have doubts about whether they are loved by their parents or others. I'll tell you right now that you are loved, no matter what appearances seem to indicate. You are loved. And my advice to you is to go within. Listen to that still small voice and think of all those small things in your life that are evidence of love from your parents, relatives, friends, or acquaintances. I am certain that you will find a plethora of small things proving love is existent in your life. I know that you are all loved because I know I love all of you. I know Reverend Maureen and Reverend Kate love each and every one of you. I know that you are all loved, loving, and lovable. So know it for yourselves and be joyful for that knowledge. Now, to further illuminate the human aspect of love, I'd like to turn to recently deceased Vietnamese Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh, one of my favorite philosophers, who said that the source of love is deep in us, and we can help others realize a lot of happiness.
Sound.
One word, one action, one thought can reduce another person's suffering and bring that person joy. Now, according to Thich Nhat Hanh, in his book Teachings on Love, there are 4 elements of true love. Loving kindness, which is the desire to offer happiness. Compassion, the desire to remove suffering from the other person. joy, the desire to bring joy to people around you. And equanimity, the desire to accept everything and not to discriminate. Now that first element, loving kindness, he's discussed in greater detail in his book, How to Love. And he said, the first element of true love is loving kindness. The essence of loving kindness is being able to offer happiness. You can be the sunshine for another person. You can't offer happiness until you have it for yourself. So build a home inside by accepting yourself and learning to love and heal yourself. Learn how to practice mindfulness in such a way that you can create moments of happiness and joy for your own nourishment. Then you have something to offer the other person. In the book of Matthew in the New Testament of the Bible, it says that a lawyer of all people, lawyers are always getting involved in stuff, asked Jesus a question. He said, "Teacher, which commandment in the law is the greatest?" Jesus said to him, "You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the greatest and first commandment. And the second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself." I think we all know that the key element in that second commandment is that you have to love yourself first before you can love your neighbor. The Buddha said something along those lines. You can search throughout the entire universe for someone who is more deserving of your love and affection than you are yourself. And that person is not to be found anywhere. You yourself, as much as anybody in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. In my own less elegant words, love begins at home. When we love ourselves, a shift occurs. When we are out in the world serving as examples of self-love, we are proving to others that love always wins. Loving ourselves and each other aligns us with opportunities, experiences, and peace. We must always remember that we are one with the universe and with each other. As Rumi says, they say love opens a door from one heart to another, but if there is no wall, how can there be a door? If we can see each other as we are, individualized expressions of the divine, individualized expressions of spirit, we have no choice but to love both ourselves and others. Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, who's a French Jesuit priest, theologian, philosopher, said a couple of things that I really like. One of them is that joy is the sure sign of the presence of God. But he also said, someday, after mastering the winds, the waves, the tides, and gravity, we shall harness for God the energies of love. And then, for a second time in the history of the world, man will have discovered fire. And I remind you of the reading that Larry gave us. Love is the flame of the universe, nay, the very fire itself. So to summarize the message of my talk, in the words of Ernest Holmes, love is a complete unity with life, and we cannot enter this state unless we are in unity with all that lives. For all life is one. To love God alone is not enough, for this would exclude our fellow man and woman. To love our fellow man alone is not sufficient, for this would be too limited a concept of God. When we realize that God and man are one and not two, we shall love both. We shall love man as an expression of God, and God as the life principle in all. I'd like to conclude, and did we pass out those prayers? Did somebody pass them out? No. Yeah, they're on the table. Anyway, this is a prayer from 365 Science of Mind, a year of daily wisdom from Ernest Holmes. And I'm going to ask that we all say this together. Larry needs one. Okay, everybody ready? So let's say this prayer together. I believe that love is at the center of everything. Therefore, I accept love as the healing power of life. I permit love to reach out from me to every person I meet. I believe that love is returned to me from every person I meet. I trust the guidance of love because I believe it is the power of good in the universe. I feel that love is flowing through me to heal every situation I meet, to help every person I contact. Love opens the way for me and makes it perfect, straight, and glad. And so it is. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you.
Dear Rob, that was wonderful.
We're going to continue on with the love theme. So a lot of people think that the opposite of love is, but it's not. It is fear, because fear is when people fear, then they hate. So that's the end result. So it's actually the opposite of love is fear. So that's what the song is about, and this is a song by Sean Galloway. He's a Nashville songwriter, and he has a video of the song in case you want to hear it when you get home again. I choose love.
PK, Helen, and Deline. Beautiful music throughout this service today.
Thank you.
So now's our time for conscious giving. And I'll say a brief prayer before we do the collection. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am richly blessed, creating a greater and greater flow.
And please sing with us, I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. So blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Just want to briefly remind you about treatment available from those of us who raised our hands. We're going to be singing our closing song after our closing treatment, and then everyone should come out and enjoy fellowship. And now I'd like to ask Reverend Kate, because she's had enough of a vacation. She could give
I'll
us...
use the other one. I'll use that one.
Okay, okay.
It was really great to hear your talk, Robert.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. So as we close and before we sing and get to chat with each other a little more, let's just think about this wonderful thing that we have created, this Center for Spiritual Living, where we get to come together and be together and know the truth together, that there is something wonderful called life that is a result of love. And it is beautiful, and it is eternal, and it is infinite, and it is everywhere, and it is all-knowing, and it is here and now. It lives in our hearts, in our bodies, in our minds, in our spirits, our souls, our whatever. And we live in it, as it, for it, with it, through it. It is this beauty unfolding. And I give thanks for it. And knowing that it is here, that we are here, I just give thanks for the ability to know and understand what our true place in life is, and how we are here to blossom, to grow, and to expand this thing called livingness in the very same way that a plant expands its life, giving its great good into life and being a thing of beauty. Just like that, I know that each of us is also a thing of beauty, a thing of healthiness, a thing of abundance, an intrinsic, beautiful part of this thing itself that we call life. I give thanks. I know there is good for us that is ours to use today, right now, and forever, as we experience and expand as unique individualizations of this thing itself, this spiritual wonder that we call life and love. This is the truth. I give thanks it is so. I know that only good follows us in all our endeavors. And I invite you to join with me in closing this thought, this spiritual mind treatment, by saying with me, and so it is.